All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation, YouTube station? We're back Monday, NBA breakdown here. We got 6 games on tap. I got my guy Hamwich like I do each and every Monday here. Hamwich, I'll bring you in, man. How was your weekend? How was your NFL Week 18? We nailed that slate last night for Showdown. I had myself a great night overall in the NBA streets, in the NFL streets. A lot of members crushed PGA, crushed NFL. I mean, the screenshots were just crazy in the Discord chat. How was your weekend yourself, man? Happy Monday. What's going on?
Yeah, great weekend. Wish it was as good as yours. I see you had a great weekend. I see Newman's in the chat. Newman's had a great week, and congratulations to you, Jordan, and a lot of members over here just absolutely crushing it. Looking forward to carrying that momentum on tonight in the NBA, and then obviously got the playoffs this weekend. Should be a good weekend of NFL games, but we got business to take care of tonight. A lot of injury news with Jason Tatum sitting out. Dame time, no Dame time for you Bucks fans, so we'll dive right in.
Yeah, no Dame time for our Milwaukee Bucks here against Utah at home, and a good matchup there. We'll talk about Giannis, obviously, going to be a big piece there. But if you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Again, if you are not members, shipitnation.com. Click on join now. We did add a PGA only package. If you guys, obviously PGA kicked off, our guy Newen shipped the live final seat for the PGA. Congratulations to my fellow Wisconsinite buddy. Newen's in the chat. Guy continues to crush every sport: basketball, NFL, PGA first week. It's always good to get that out of the way. First contest there. Got another nice event this week, our Tambo and Hoop. We'll have you covered that. ShipitNation.com. Join now. We got multiple packages up there to get you in the best community in the industry for the cheapest all-in rate as well. But how much? 6 games on tap. Let's jump right through it. Try and keep this show 30 to 40 minutes here. Get in, get it out, get the people the winners, give them what they need, and give them enough time to build their lineups, follow up on some of this injury news. This first game on tap here is OKC and Washington. From a total standpoint, this one, 247 is the total. Oklahoma City Thunder, 11-point favorites at home. You got SGA in a stone nut spot here. You got Kuzma on the other side. You got Chet, who's been playing great. I think this is a good game to kick us off here. From an ownership standpoint, SGA seems to be getting a lot of ownership here, and it looks like Hamwich just dropped from the show. Not sure what happened there, but I will kick it off in this one. From an injury standpoint, DeLon Wright, questionable. Landry Shamet, questionable in this one. I really like – okay, you're back? Are you back?
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't know what was going on there, but OKC, Washington, Hamwich, where are you going?
Yeah, going right into it. OKC, Washington. I mean, obviously, the best play of the night, I think, and I think you think as well, was SGA. Just absolutely smash spot tonight against this Washington team who can't guard anybody really and really struggles against ball handlers. I don't mind SGA. I don't mind Josh Giddey tonight. I don't mind Chet Holmgren tonight. I think this OKC team on the road, almost 130 points implied team total. I really like them tonight in all facets of the game. Just looking at our stuff over and kind of the value in this game, it'd be SGA and Chet are the 2 biggest values that we have. I don't mind Josh Giddey, like I alluded to. Then on the flip side, I've been playing a lot of Kuzma this year, a lot of Gafford, so I don't mind either one of them if you wanted to bring it back. They're still implied to score almost 120 points. But SGA is a smash spot tonight, in my opinion. Going to come with the ownership. Give me some SGA, give me some Giddey, and then I'll be running it out with some Chet Holmgren, Kuzma, and Gafford.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. I think SGA's, I mean, he's going to be a core play for me tonight. I love this spot for SGA. Blowout concern is a little bit of a risk there, but if the game blows out, it's likely on the back of SGA. So I love SGA here at 10-4. He's going to get ownership here. I don't really care. He's got basically the stone nut matchup here against Washington. Point guards against Washington absolutely smashed. SGA has been on a tear. Everything checks out good for me. I mean, 57, 63, 54, his last 3 games there, a couple in the 60s before that. I mean, guy's on fire right now. Gets a great matchup here. I love SGA. Chet Holmgren, I think, is a great play as well here. Draws another good matchup against Washington. So I actually like both centers in this game. My favorite Washington piece is actually going to be Daniel Gafford here at 5,700. Hasn't been great, but I mean, if he gets his 31 to 34 minutes here, I think Daniel Gafford at 5'7" as a mid-tier center play. He looks pretty good to me here on the Washington side. Outside of that, I really don't have a ton of interest in these Washington pieces. I don't know if I can get up to Kuzma at 7,500 here. He's just doesn't really excite me too much. I see some guys in the chat talking about it's pool party night, taking a dip in the pool. I mean, it's currently 32 degrees here in Wisconsin. I'm not planning to jump into any pool anytime soon. And I know this game's in Washington, but I'm still not jumping into the old pool party here tonight. So I'm out on pool at 5,600. He's been atrocious overall. It's pretty much Gafford, SGA, and Holmgren in here for me. If you can't get all the way up to SGA, I think Giddey is fine at 6,300 there. But his minutes, I mean, he's got to be very efficient. He's only going to see probably, 25, 27 minutes, maybe 22 to 25 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark. And he is 6,300. So his prices come up. He's got to be super efficient. So I really like SGA. Really like Gafford, and then I really like Holmgren. Those 3 plays for me in this one. Let's jump into another game here for Boston and Indiana here. Obviously, we got news. Tatum is out in this one here, I believe. And as far as a total standpoint, this one, 245 total, just a 4-point spread here. Boston favored by 4 points only at home, obviously due to no Tatum in this one. Obviously, when there's no Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Porzingis, you got Derek White. A lot of ownership going to go to this Boston side. Jalen Smith at 4,700 seems to be getting a decent amount of ownership here. He's going to play into the mid-20s in terms of minutes. Talk on this one. Where are you going? Boston and Indy. I think it's a pretty good game overall.
Yeah, should be a good game. These 2 teams played, I believe it was Saturday night, maybe Friday night in Indy, kind of doing that thing where they play, 2 games in the same city. This time, Jason Tatum absolutely cooked last time out. Obviously, he's sitting tonight. I like the Pacers tonight, a little revenge factor, if you will. I mean, how can you not love Tyrese Halliburton at 10-2 at the point guard position, just the things that he's done. He still gets Drew Holiday, who's a pretty good on-ball defender, so some people may be off of him, but I like Tyrese. And then to me, when Tatum sits, and I talked about it on the Friday night show with Tambo, Derek White just absolutely smashes both sites, but 7-4 on DraftKings tonight. He would be my favorite Celtic amongst I'll call him the big 4 with no Tatum. I mean, I'll put him in there, as one of their 4 best players. No Sam Hauser tonight either. Not that that's a huge talking point on this slate, but give me some Derek White. I think you could sprinkle in Brown or Porzingis. But it's going to be Derek White for me. It's going to be Tyrese Halliburton for me. And I do like your Jalen Smith call. He's dual position eligible, power forward, and the center position at 4,700. He just does so many different little things. I saw somebody in the chat talking about Brissett for the Celtics. No thank you for me on Brissett. I'm going to keep it to Derek White and those other mainly those main 4 guys that they have, and then really focus on these Indiana Pacers tonight versus these Celtics. I think the Pacers win this game tonight.
Yeah, no, that's definitely an interesting take here. Obviously, Indy's playing good. Indy is at home here. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is a fine pivot off of SGA. You can argue he has a very equivalent ceiling, if not even a higher ceiling there for Tyrese Halliburton, $200 cheaper than SGA. I much prefer SGA over Halliburton. I did see our guy in the chat, P. Lang, talking about Derek White got the Halliburton assignment last time. I think they're going to do a mix, I would assume, of Derek White and Drew Holiday. I'm still team SGA over Halliburton, but if you want a pivot in tournaments, he's going to be very, very, very low owned, sub 5%, whereas SGA is going to probably push 30+% owned here. I love Derek White. I'm with you. Derek White's my favorite Boston piece by far. No questions about it. 7,400, I think, is way too cheap in this spot. I love him, like you said, when Tatum's off the court. And I'm seeing him pretty low owned compared to Porzingis and Jaylen Brown. I think Porzingis would be my preference between Jaylen Brown and Porzingis. I just like the little salary savings there at 7,900 for Porzingis. But really love Derek White in this spot. Outside of that, I mean, Halliburton as a contrarian spend, I think is fine. Jaylen Brown's obviously fine anytime Tatum is out. But it's basically Derek White for me, Halliburton, contrarian spend, and then Porzingis is kind of where I'm looking. Jalen Smith, I think, is a fine value option. He's going to pick up some ownership in this spot. He's been getting mid-20s minutes, 4,700 overall. I think he's fine, but it's pretty much just those three that I mentioned: contrarian spend, Halliburton, and then Derek White and Porzingis is where I'm looking in this one. A little bit under on Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown personally in this spot. Let's jump into the next game.
For Brissett? I didn't have any Brissett, but I see the chat talking Brissett revenge game. Brissett's the value. Any thoughts on Brissett? I don't think I'll have any as of now, right? Knowing the news that we know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brissett. I mean, he is 3,400. He's been playing pretty decent. I mean, he's been getting close to 20 minutes. I think he's a fine value play overall. Looking at the starters, let me just look real quick. I haven't seen the anticipated starters. I don't think he'll start. I'm likely they'll go Derek White, Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, and then probably Al Horford right at the 5. Brissett coming off the bench, 3,400. I mean, he's been getting 17 to 20 minutes, so I don't hate it at 3,400 here in this spot in a pace-up matchup against Indiana. It's just not my favorite for sure, but I think he's fine.
Yeah.
Jump to the next game. Next game here, we have Chicago and Charlotte. The lowest total on the slate by far, by a pretty good margin here. 216 is the total. Chicago 6-point favorites in this one here overall. In terms of where you could look in this one, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, I think. But overall, I think this is a cross-off spot for me. You're not really looking to get to this one. I mean, we got the Milwaukee side where there's news. You got Boston where there's news. You got that OKC Washington game, which is pretty juicy to start. These two games that we're going to talk about next, this one and then the next Houston-Miami game, don't really like them a ton. But do you see something in this one, Chicago-Charlotte, that I'm missing?
Yeah, just real quick to note on the Bulls, it looks like Levine is questionable. Patrick Williams is questionable. Looks like Vukovic is going to play tonight. He's listed as probable currently. I'm with you. I don't have a whole ton of interest in this game. No Ball, no Williams, no Hayward, which is nothing new. My favorite player in this game would be Nick Richards at the center position. Getting close to 30 minutes a night. I like Nick Richards, and just looking at some of the stuff over here at SHIPIT Nation. So give me some Nick Richards at the center position, and then there's just too many guys. I feel like I talked about it the other night with the Nets. It's like they have so many just average dudes that you look up, and they all have about 15 points and 5 rebounds. I'm not going to have – there's no real value for me on the Bulls. That'll be Nick Richards in this game, and that's it.
I don't hate Vus. I see Vus as probable here. I think he's going to play in this spot. It is a good matchup against Charlotte. He is 7,500, which isn't a terrible price point, but it does look like Levine obviously is going to play as well with DeRozan. So you got the big three then, and it's just tough. I mean, you got Kobe White, who's been taking the ball as well. So I don't hate Vus as a contrarian just due to a matchup standpoint against Charlotte. And then I'm with you. Nick Richards, I think, is fine. But overall, I'm pretty much under on this game in general. Much like the next game we're going to talk about here, Houston, Miami. In terms of this one, 220 is the total here, 4-point spread overall from an injury standpoint. Kyle Lowry is questionable in this one. Not a lot of ownership going to this one. I mean, you got Bam Adebayo as a contrarian center option, Tyler Hero, Fred VanVleet, Sengun. But really, I don't see a ton in this one either. Do you see something I'm missing here?
Yeah, no Jimmy Butler again in this contest. He's been out. No Tari Easton, no Dylan Brooks. So they're all have extended absences. Yeah, this game, it's a tough game. I mean, Jalen Green would be my favorite Rocket at 6,500 going up against this Miami team. He would be my favorite of the bunch. And then it's just so tough to pick. I mean, these Heat, all right? I mean, Adebayo's 8,800. Tyler Hero would be second for me. He's 7,900 though. So give me some Jalen Green. My favorite Heat, just based on price, 6,200 would be the rookie out of UCLA, Jaquez, however you say his name, Jaquez. I know I'm going to butcher that, but give me him. Give me some Jalen Green. Then if I was going deep down into it, we really like Aaron Holiday over here. He's showing good. He's popping up in some of the stuff that I look at over here at SHIPIT Nation. If Aaron Holiday were to get extended minutes with some of those absences, I wouldn't mind Aaron Holiday. He got 21 minutes last time out when they beat the Bucks. So hopefully you get 25, but that would kind of be the extent of it in this game. Should be a slower paced game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't love a ton in this game. One guy I call out, Newlands, you're just too sharp, brother. Must be those Wisconsinites. Got the same wavelength going on up here in this snowstorm, getting ready for the snowstorm we're about to get hit with here. But I see you talking about Fred VanVleet. I'm with you. Fred VanVleet's probably my favorite play in this game, just the contrarian GPP ceiling type play at 8K flat. You know what he can do. So I do like Fred VanVleet a little bit in this spot here. It's a decent spot. Obviously, anyone against the Heat really isn't the greatest matchup, but Fred VanVleet I do think has a pretty solid matchup overall. So I do like Fred VanVleet a little bit here. Outside of that, really not going to go to a ton in this one. I mean, I see some guys talking about Kevin Love in the chat due to Houston's second unit, right? Really no defense there. Kevin Love's been very good. I mean, he's not going to play extended minutes, probably 20 to 24 minutes. He has been good, but again, I don't know if I want to take a shot on Kevin Love, center only at 5,400, basically capped probably at 24 minutes. It's just tough for me to get there. I get it. He has been efficient overall. I mean, 30, 37, 33. But again, he's center only eligible. If he had power forward, I might take a look at it. But it's not for me personally here. It's basically Fred VanVleet or pass in this spot for me. Let's talk about the chalk of the night here. You run any optimizer right now, $4 or $5 are getting slammed into your roster for good reason. Obviously, Dame Lillard is out here, and they get a very, very good matchup here against Utah. Overall, 242 is the total, 8-point spread. Milwaukee's favored by 8 in this one. Obviously, the big news, right? No Dame Lillard here in this one. You got Giannis. Obviously, one of the best spend-ups on the slate. Chris Middleton, now with no Dame, going to take a lot more of the ball-handling duties there. I mean, you run any optimizer, this is the chalk spot of the game. I mean, basically 6 of the highest-owned players on the entire slate are going to come from this Milwaukee side. Andre Jackson at 3.1K. Probably pretty good chalk here, in my opinion. I mean, he might draw the start here. At least we have him projected to be pretty good. People want to spend up for SGA. People want to spend up for Giannis. How do you do that? You play at 3,100. You play some of these value plays. Talk about this one, Milwaukee and Utah.
Yeah, this is interesting because not only is Dame time out, his backup campaign is also going to miss this campaign. So, who's going to play point guard for the Bucks? And they don't have a true point guard. You said it. It's going to be a little bit of Chris Middleton. It's going to be a little bit of Giannis, I would assume. I mean, it's going to be all hands on deck as a true, point guard. So that's going to open up some value. You said Austin Jackson Jr., 3,100. If he gets to start, I think he's a good play. I guess he can handle the ball a little bit, and he's point guard eligible, so he's 3,100. But for me, Nades, I actually like a lot of this other side of the game as well. We know that the Bucks struggle guarding the point guard position, and that starts with Dame. He's not the best defender. So I like Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson on the flip side of this game. We've seen Colin Sexton. He's been inserted into the starting lineup, playing around 25 minutes a game, and putting up some good quality fantasy points. Don't mind him at 5'8". That's a great price tag on him. He's point guard and shooting guard eligible. And then Jordan Clarkson obviously had that triple-double not too long ago. I think he can get going as well. So give me some Sexton, give me some Clarkson. I think Giannis, I think someone in the chat said Giannis is a lock button. I mean, obviously we got three guys we've talked about, 10K plus, and Giannis, SGA, and Halliburton. Can't play all of them. So Giannis is a great play tonight as well. You can fit those pieces in there, right? You're going to have to fit some of those Bucks in there, and rightfully so. They're going to be high owned because they're cheap, and the Jazz historically haven't been good on defense this season. But I really like Colin Sexton. Probably my favorite play in this game outside of Giannis.
Yeah, no, great breakdown here. I'm with you. I think Clarkson and Sexton are both good plays here. Clarkson, 6,100, he just chucks. Sexton, 5,800. You're going to want to play a lot of Bucks. I always like jumping to the other side and bringing it back. You don't have to. It's not a rule, right? NBA is about shorthanded rotation minutes, equal production. And obviously that's what we have on Milwaukee, right? With Payne out and Dame out, Andre Jackson slated to start at the point guard. I think he's good chalk to eat at 3,100 here in this matchup against Utah. So Andre Jackson, really like him at 3,100. I think I'm more willing to eat good chalk. That's going to get the minutes like an Andre Jackson at that price and get different with your studs. So maybe you go a Giannis, Andre Jackson, and instead of playing SGA, you go to Halliburton, right, at lower ownership. So that's one way you can kind of talk through it a little bit. I'm team Giannis, SGA. I'm kind of starting my teams there with those two tonight. I think an interesting move might be separate Middleton and Giannis, just because I think a lot of teams are going to come with Andre Jackson, Middleton, and Giannis together, all three of those. Maybe playing two out of those three, preferably leaving Middleton out and just hoping Giannis just does everything on the interior. I think is an interesting way because Middleton, again, is 7K. I get it. He's going to be handling the ball basically pretty much the whole time with no Dame there. But I think you just got to get a little bit different because everyone's going to be playing these Bucks for a good reason in this matchup against Utah. I'm with you. I like Clarkson, Sexton on the other side. Beauchamp at 3,700, I think is also a fine play here. He's another shooter, another scorer. He can score the basketball. It's always spots like these, Hamwich, that Brook Lopez seems to, you know what I mean? Brook Lopez always has those games in him where everyone's kind of on the other pieces for the Bucks, and Lopez comes out, Splash Mountain, sitting at the top of the key and just drains like 4 threes in a row, picks up rebounds and stuff. I don't hate a $6,000 Brook Lopez, right? I obviously he doesn't have as good of a matchup as the other guys, but I don't hate that. So I think the Bucks are obviously great plays here. This is a great game to target. You just got to be a little bit different on how you approach this game, how you build your rosters, and try and not end up in 1v1, 2v2s off of everyone else in your contest when you're trying to get to the top of the leaderboards. One thing I'm looking at personally is max 2 of Andre Jackson, Middleton, and Giannis personally is kind of what I'm looking at. I think that's a good look to get a little bit different. Or you play, instead of SGA, you play Halliburton, like we talked about, because Halliburton's going to be significantly lower owned than SGA in this spot.
Hey, real quick. I mean, I know it's been on the road, but do you put any stock in the fact that the Bucks last 3 games, they've all been on the road. They struggled mightily, lost 2 of the games, struggled with the third one in San Antonio. Does that come into play to you at all? Or are you just kind of putting that off as they were on the road, now they're back home, they're going to get their mojo back? Does that go into play for you at all?
I mean, they are a really good home team, but I think this game stays competitive enough without Dame, to be honest, that I don't really worry about it too much. I mean, the NBA is a long season, right? It's game of runs, hot streaks, cold streaks, or whatever you have. I mean, I don't really weigh that too much here. I think they're coming back home. I think it's a good spot for them. And I think they'll be fine here. If anything, it just makes the game a little bit more competitive here, in my opinion, is kind of how I'm approaching it.
Yeah, one thing, Richie Smalls asked about Ty Washington. I don't think I can go there just unless we get some news. And just looking at him, I don't believe he's played in a while, so I don't know if he's just coming back. And maybe I'm looking at some unupdated stuff. I don't have him playing in over 2 months, so tonight's not going to be the night I try to jam him in.
Yeah, I don't think Ty Washington. I mean, I get it; he's stone minimum here, but I mean, you got AJ Green there, not the wide receiver. AJ Green, the basketball player, right there. You got Malik Beasley. You still got Pat Connaughton, Beauchamp. I mean, I really don't go. I don't think you need to dumpster dive in there. There's good enough value, right? I mean, Andre Jackson, yeah, he's chalky, but he's 3,100. You know, he's going to likely start here, get the minutes. So I really don't think. I mean, I'd rather get contrarian at your studs, your spend ups, than get contrarian at the value play when you already have good set in stone values. Kind of how I approach NBA. Usually chalk value is chalk for a reason. It's good because minutes lead to production, and obviously it's all tied to fantasy points and production here. So I'm out on Ty Washington. If you have a gut feeling on Ty, maybe you win the 100,000 yourself tonight in the end, but in that main lotto contest. So.
And we have Jackson and Beauchamp both projected for over 25 minutes. So yeah, I mean, even if Jackson goes, 20 points is good enough for Jackson at 3-1, I think, especially if it allows you to jam in 2 or 3 studs. But yeah, we have them both projected for over 25 plus minutes tonight.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's those early games, right? There's 3 games that lock at 6, a lone game, the Houston-Miami game at 6:30. Obviously, this huge game for the slate in terms of DFS. And then you got 2.5 hours until this next game locks. Phoenix and the Clippers here in this one. KD is questionable in this one. Obviously, I believe the Suns are on a back-to-back here. Not going to get this news before these other games lock. I don't know if you really want to personally wait around for this game. You could fall into some good spots here. Kawhi Leonard's going to play, so you got Harden, Paul George, Leonard all in for the Clips. If Durant plays, I mean, you got a fully healthy Suns team basically with Nurk, Booker, Bradley Beal, and Durant. I got Nurk last night at like 3% owned. Absolutely dusted the slate, which was fun to see. Helped me get all the way up and win all the money last night. In terms of this game, I don't see a ton of interest from me personally in this one as a late night hammer. I'm hoping that if people play this one, they have to chase me down at the top of the leaderboards is kind of how I'm approaching this one. But do you see something I'm missing here?
Yeah, Nurk helped you nuke last night, Nate. So that was good to see this morning when I woke up. But both teams on the back end of a back-to-back. We know they generally are conservative with Kawhi Leonard, so I would pay close attention to him. And then obviously the big news is going to be KD, but to me, it's tough to play those. If the big 3 are playing, it's tough to play them because they all just eat into each other so much, in my opinion. I mean, last night Booker, did really well real life and only ended up with like 43, I think, or 50, somewhere around there DraftKings points. So I'm with you. I want to be at the top of the leaderboard, and hopefully someone has to chase me down with a James Harden type. That would kind of be where I would start, would be James Harden. So I wouldn't mind him. But outside of James Harden, it's going to be tough for me to play really any of these guys. I mean, you could just because they're superstars and they could obviously nuke, but it's going to be James Harden. Then I might have a little bit of interest in your boy Nurk again at 7,000, but that's the extent of it. Harden and or Nurk for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. The only guy I really have any interest in here is Nurk at 7K in this spot. I just think it's an all right spot for him. He looks pretty good on some of the stuff I look at over here. For me, but like our guy Parabay said in the chat, I'm not sure why they even included this game. I'm not sure what DraftKings is doing. Sometimes they include these late games, sometimes they're not. It'd be nice if they just got rid of these late games. Personally, for myself, I'd rather not be tied at a computer all night long. I know Title's a little selfish that way when he sits there and wants to get all the updates in and not have a life. But hey, to each their own. So I'm approaching like this game doesn't exist, maybe a piece or two from this one. But for me, I like these other games. I really like that OKC Washington game, obviously the Milwaukee Utah game, and then some pieces from that Boston Indy game is kind of where I'm looking at on this slate. How much? That's all 6 games. Want to give the people your play of the day before we get on out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give 2. I gave 2 the other night. I'm gonna give one that should be popular, one that is not so popular. Hopefully I don't steal yours. I'm going to go with my favorite play of the day. It's going to be Derek White, $7,400. I'm always on Derek White, I feel like. And tonight without Tatum, he goes up, one notch on the ring when it comes to who's going to get the shots. So give me Derek White and then my low-owned play. I'm going to roll with the OKC, but not SGA. I'm going to go Josh Giddey. He's going to be my favorite. Not my favorite Thunder, but my low-owned Thunder. I like some Josh Giddey tonight.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you gave 2. It's only fair for me to give 2. I'm going to give a little combo pack. I know our guy Tambo, if he's listening, likes these little combo packs. I'm going to give a chalkier play, SGA. I just love SGA's spot. Like I said off the top of the show, he's a core play for me. I love the spot. I love him and Giannis together. But I'm going to give another play from the same game at the center position, 5,700. Daniel Gafford should be sub 5% ownership here. I like the spot for him. I think he'll do fine. He's my favorite Washington piece, so I like the combo pack of SGA and Daniel Gafford to go with your Giddy. Little game stack, a little stack it up. Maybe this game goes into double, triple overtime. We win all the money and get on with our night. But that's all 6 games. We appreciate everyone watching. Good luck tonight in your contest. We'll have all of our content live at SHIPITNation.com. If you are not a member, head over to SHIPITNation.com. Get in there.
I got questions for you. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Questions.
Right in the middle of the outro. My gosh, this guy.
I didn't want you to get the people. The people have to know something very important after we ship all this money. Who are you going for tonight? Who's going to win? CFP, number 1, Michigan, number 2 or 3 or whatever they are, Washington in Houston. Give me the winner of tonight's game.
Michigan dust them, and it's not going to be close.
Michigan dust them. Michigan versus everybody, says Nades. All right, I'm with you on that. I think this is
Michigan dust them. Washington plays no defense. Michigan's going to score at will. Michigan has a defense. It's not going to be close. Michigan owns them. Big Ten's going to win.
Hope so. I like, hey, for my boy Hoop, for my boy G Rising, I hope it's Michigan. I hope those khaki pants are flopping. There's not going to be any win, but I hope he's over there. I hope J.J. McCarthy gets up there. Yeah, I hope the Michigan Wolverines ride off into the sunset. Then Jim Harbaugh goes and picks wherever he wants to go next.
All right, well, let's try this outro again before my buddy Hamwich here had to come off mute in the middle of it and interrupt with the national championship pick. But, hey, I'll give it to you. That is good. Obviously, the college national championship. Our guy Smarty's probably in the Discord giving the takes. He crushed college football all year long over here in the members-only Discord. But good luck tonight in your NBA streets. As always, all of our content will be live at SHIPITNation.com. Hope to see those Ship It Nation logos at the top. For Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. Let's ship it.